and the number of resume getting filtered out in the first stage itself. Girls typically have more aesthetic sense than us boys. We have to accept that. Nothing wrong in that. But have a girl look at your resume and ask her, is this resume pretty? It's not about your skills. It's not even about talking to you. Right filtration off at the first point is painful. Today in this video, I will talk about 10 of the most brutal mistakes that I see repeating in the resume over and over again. Hello girls and boys, how's it doing? Let me give you something up, straight and frontal, something that will hit you right in the guts. Over the course of years, I've seen thousands of DevOps, cloud, SRE, software engineering resume, and the number of resume getting filtered out in the first stage itself, the resume screening, is ridiculously high. It's not about your skills. It's not even about talking to you. Right filtration off at the first point is painful, and you're left wondering, why am I not even getting the calls? Today in this video, I will talk about 10 of the most brutal mistakes that I see repeating in the resume over and over again. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what not to do in your resume and also what is the right way to fix all of those mistakes as well. If you're new here, my name is Savinder Puri. I've been in the build, release, DevOps, software engineering area for over 2 decades. You can check out my LinkedIn profile to know more about my details. Let's get started. So the format of this video is very simple. I'll give you a sample line from a potential resume. Then I'll tell you the issues in that line, and I'll also give you the solution for this. The way to consume this video is also very simple. First, see the video end to end. See if you resonate with some of them. Then once you're done watching the video, then actually take a printout of your resume or keep your resume side by side if you're watching this on a laptop, and then go line by line. Seek each of those 10 issues, and if you find them in your resume, mark them. And as I'm giving you the potential solution, create the fix in your resume right there. You would have watched this video twice and you would have fixed it. It is the most important 1 hour that you can spend fixing your resume, which will give you substantial bang for the buck. Let's get started now with number 1. So the text in a resume: worked in CI/CD pipelines for improving deployment. Now, what's the issue here? No numbers, no clarity. What the heck is improving? What's the lesson? Always convert statements into measurable impact. For example, you can reword this into saying reduce deployment from 2 hours to 30 minutes via automated Jenkins or GitHub Actions pipeline, serving about 50 microservices. What have you said here? You have said the tool, you have said the impact, you have said the technology stack. Without all of that, this statement is fluff, and this is one of the most common mistakes I see in the resume. Generic gyan, fluff, no impact. Example number 2. The statement in the resume reads something like, I'm part of an agile team migrating monolith to microservice. Again, what does part of mean? What is exactly your contribution? Is that you typing documents? Is that you designing the architecture? Is that you automating the CI/CD pipeline? Is that you resolving the rollbacks? The value that you add is completely invisible in this. So potentially you can reword it saying, let a 3-person team and set up automated infrastructure as code and configuration management using Terraform and Ansible, reducing the deployment time from 3 hours to less than 10 minutes. Now, DevOps is almost always an individual sport played as a team. So your contribution in that team matters. Example number 3, the statement in the resume: build web app using Java, Spring Boot, MySQL, microservices, on AWS services. What's the issue? It's a classic list of technologies in the resume section. No link to GitHub, no code example, no talk of what you have actually done. Now, obviously, if you've done this for an enterprise, you can't give the GitHub link, but figure out a way in which you can somehow showcase some of your personal work also, so that the hiring manager can look at some of the code that you've contributed. It could be a personal project, it could be an open source contribution, it could generally be something that you made for yourself, but highlight that. Having a look at the GitHub repository makes sense always, but make sure there are valid contributions and not 3 green dots in the last 1 year. That is more detrimental. So how do you fix this? Add a link to your GitHub, describe the key module that you wrote, talk about the test coverage, talk about how you've put up the CI/CD pipeline for this. All of that will add credibility to your work. Example number 4. I worked on a project where I designed the architecture, handled backend services, front-end UI, client integration, yada yada yada. What's the issue? It's too freaking detailed. You don't need that. Hiring managers want impact, not the full screenplay. Nobody's using or reading your long paragraphs. People will just skip over it. What's the lesson? Be condensed, use bullet points, use action verbs, use matrices, and keep your project definitions to maximum 1 or 2 lines. That's it. Now, if any of these points is hitting you hard, type hard relate in the comments so I know that this is making sense. Example number 5. Under the skill sections, you've mentioned something like DevOps, Agile, team player, solid contributor, problem solver. What the heck? Issue is, these are all buzzwords without any context. DevOps doesn't mean anything unless you specify some tool, some impact, the work that you have actually done. Team player doesn't mean anything unless you show how you have contributed your part in a bigger piece. Otherwise, this is just bull crap thrown in the resume. What's the lesson? Replace team player, for example, with something like collaborated with cross-functional team of 8 developers, QA and SRE to deliver monthly releases with 0 critical bugs in production for 6 months. Proof of work, technology, shows what you did. Example number 6. Now, in the famous objective section, I read somewhere somebody writing, looking for growth in big data and DevOps role, or something like to learn and grow in a reputed organization. What's the issue? These lines are like you're living in 2002. Also, the objective is generic and serves you and not the organization. You want to work in data, you want a DevOps role, that's awesome. What about the organization? What value do you bring? What contribution can you make? So what's the lesson? In my humble opinion, objective for people who are less than maybe 10-12 years experience doesn't matter, because you all tend to have the same objective, right? It really doesn't make sense. If you really have less than 10 years experience and if you still want to put an objective, use that space wisely, use one sentence and let it be a summary of your entire resume. Maybe something like DevOps engineer, 2-year experience in Azure DevOps, AKS, same family. Keep it simple, but let that have meaning. So I know number of year experience, your key skill, that's all I need to know in the resume, right? Good key summary. Now, if you have more than 10, 12, 15 years experience, use the objective again to summarize your own experience. And if you're making a pivot, announce that right up front. So for example, you can say something like project manager with 15 years experience, having managed 3 DevOps projects in the last 2 years, pivoting into technical project manager. That makes sense because that tells me where are you coming from and what are you looking to do. So use that space to convey this kind of an objective if you're a senior person. Okay, example number 7. This is very, very interesting. I see this quite a lot. In the certification section, you mention studying for AWS certification. Even better, I've read AWS Solution Architect, Terraform Associate, HashiCorp Certified, CKAD, a full laundry list of certifications, which is great. But the point is, okay, you know some stuff, you've passed the certification, have you used them in the project? What's your practical experience? This is all theory generic gyan. Great if you have 1 or 2 years experience, 3 years. I know you've passed CKAD, so you have the basic knowledge. Good. Not good enough if you've above 3, 4, 5 years of experience, because then I need to see how you have used this in the project. Otherwise, it's theoretical gyan, doesn't value. Also, if you're a fresher, then you can potentially say AWS this certification, target completion date December 2025. For a fresher with somebody with 1-2 years experience, this matters, this makes sense, I will buy it. Alright, now this is my favorite one. Example number 8. Now you read in the resume, and I'll quote, this is from an actual resume. It says, spearheaded the design of a multi-region cloud solution, deftly handling scalability, ensuring high availability, and instrumental in major cost savings. This is a Shashi Tharoor level DevOps engineer entering. करूँ क्या इसका? अरे कुछ ज्ञान ठीक है. Tell me some impact. Tell me what you have done. You've just added objectives before every technology word. That's all you've done. Too much jargon, too much gyan without any clarity. Specifically, what multi-region, how many regions, what was the output, what is the cost or performance metrics, what scale up, scale down patterns, what architectural trade-offs did you make? You're just claiming architectural leadership without showing any context, any result. How the heck does it add value? How do you fix this? You could say something like, architected across 2 AWS regions, US East 1, US West 1, solution for 50 plus microservices, achieving 99.9% uptime, reducing cost region disaster recovery RTO from 4 hours to 10 minutes, cutting the annual infrastructure cost by 13%. That tells you a story. That gives me at least 3 solid questions to ask you, the answers to which you already know. Now, if some of these tips are hitting you, you can type in the resume, what did I say? Hard relate, hard hit, something like that. Type in the comments so I know this is making sense to you. Okay, example number 9. In the achievement section, you write participated in hackathon, attending a 3-day AWS bootcamp. It's great, you are a proactive person, but what is in it for me as a recruiter for a hiring manager? Doesn't give me anything. Convert these into outcomes. Recruiters often see this as filler content. और कुछ नहीं है, पेज भरने के लिए थोड़ा ज्ञान फेंकती है. So how do you reword this? You say ranked in the top 3 at XYZ hackathon, developed a containerized app using AWS Lambda to do this. Or you say completed a 3-day AWS bootcamp, built and deployed an AWS hosted static website as part of this. So you're no longer a participant, you are a doer. You have spoken about what you've done. And if it's a hackathon, if it's a boot camp, you better have the code linked on GitHub because this is public code. Number 10. And this is completely my personal opinion, but this is something that really puts me off in a resume. 2 things. Number 1, typo errors. Nothing is more terrible in a resume than typo errors. Here is what it tells me when I see a spelling mistake in a resume. Number 1, you do not care about your work. Number 2, I cannot depend on you when I give you a work. Hence, number 3, why should I even bother interviewing you? you. That's one goes in my head in less than 1 second whenever I spot a spelling mistake in the resume. What's the lesson? Run the damn spelling checks. As simple as that. Invest that time. Number 2 in this, people of, is lack of formatting in a resume. You look at your resume for 1 second and you don't even feel like reading the damn thing. It looks like a blob of text thrown on paper. How do you fix this? First, let me give you a quick test to figure out if you formatted your resume well or not. Put it in a PDF and zoom out so that you can see the whole page. Now, when you see the whole page, you might not be able to read the text. That's fine. But just visually look at it. Does it look pretty to you? Now, if your answer is obviously yes, then you've already failed the test. Get a girl to look at the resume. Girls typically have more aesthetic sense than us boys. We have to accept that. Nothing wrong in that. But have a girl look at your resume and ask her, is this resume pretty? And she will tell you honestly. Make the changes, use AI formatters, don't go fancy over the top, keep it simple but keep it elegant. But invest time in formatting your resume completely. It should visually look interesting for me to read it, and pick out one thing that will stand out in your resume, which you have not seen any of your peers do it. It could be anything. I'll give you an idea. On the skills, some people put a number graph, some people put a scale, right? So Terraform is 8, then Ansible is 9. So they put a scale on top of it. Something little different. In one resume I have seen for a senior guy, that guy put a pie chart on how I spend my time. So 30-40% of my time goes in meetings, 10% in one-on-ones, 2%, 15-20% talking to customers, designing solution. It's a beautiful way in which I can get in 30 seconds what are the 5 things that you do in a day. Do something different. One piece, one section of your resume should visually stand out. Think about it. Search for different kinds of resume. It's worth putting in the time and the effort. Hope this video made sense. I'll see you in the next one.